of all, I'd like to welcome everyone to the Canal Alliance Conversation Series. It's been a great journey. We started the series back in February and have had wonderful people talking. It seems like somebody's not quite muted somewhere. All right, there we go. We've got different people to come in and present about all kinds of wonderful topics of events, different places up and down the I&M Canal National Heritage Area. We had different art exhibits, different places that we're learning about. It's really been a wonderful experience. We've learned from the core partners like the Heritage Corridor Convention Bureau. We've learned about the Department of Natural Resources, and it's been quite the wonderful program to learn about this and also meet all of our wonderful audience members who come from all kinds of walks of life and all have one thing in common. They're interested in the I&M Canal and the National Heritage Area, and we're here for you. So today's presentation, we have Julie McDonald, and Julie is, she gave you a little bio here to read. Julie is a park ranger with the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. She has been with the Army Corps of Engineers since 2016, but has worked in city, county, state, and federal government levels throughout the country. She has a bachelor's degree in agriculture from Illinois State University and a master's degree in natural resources in environmental education and interpretation from the University of Wisconsin-Stevens Point. Julie has been working in natural resources since 1998 and is a mother to an exceptionally well-behaved collie. So that's great to hear, Julie. Before she starts, I'm also going to request that hopefully we'll have a lot of great questions today. So if you have questions, go to the bottom of your screen and hit the chat button. That'll pop up a little window into the right. And if you have questions, please type them in there. We're going to keep everybody muted during most of the presentation. And afterwards, we'll have plenty of time to answer all those great questions. Okay. I think that's most of the housekeeping. So Julie, will you get us started? Don't forget to unmute.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. I greatly appreciate it. And Mara, if something pops up in the chat that I miss, please feel free to shout at me, wave, do something to get my attention or something to that effect. So I'm going to start up with my presentation. Are you guys able to see my screen? The PowerPoint presentation?
We can see it, yep.
All right. So let me see it. Here we go. All right. So the OnCell app is something that we're just starting up with. It's not live yet. So what you're going to be seeing is a test page. And there's a QR code there, and there's also a website. If you want to do that QR code right now and just have it running on your cell phone or your tablet or whatnot, or if you want to do a screenshot and then do it later, that's perfectly fine. I'll also have this QR code and website on the last page, and that has my contact information on it as well. And in this particular case, I'm looking for you guys to beta test it. I've had a couple of people test it. They seem happy with it, but I'm eager to find out what people in this area think about it, and if they believe the material is going to be age appropriate and interesting to a bank of audience members that would be coming to our area. So I'll give you 3 more seconds with this screen to get your screenshot if you haven't already. 3, 2, 1. Okay. So how did all of this get started? I'm going to go through that. I'm going to go through a little bit of what we hope to end up with, the supplies that I ended up purchasing, and some challenges and benefits with this OnCell app. OnCell is the company that the Army Corps of Engineers decided to test with. My park, my site, the Illinois Waterway Visitor Center at Starved Rock Lock and Dam, we are one of the 10 guinea pig sites across the country. So there's 10 Army Corps of Engineers sites that are trying this out. And its success with us will help guide other sites to determine whether this is something that we want to try and suggest to other locations, or we want to have examples where they can look to us and say, you know, I like this, I don't like this, I want to match up with this, how did you do that? So it all got started, the Army Corps of Engineers has a national team called the Innovations Team. They have members, staff members from across the country at different sites, and one of the members of the Innovations Team happens to be in the Rock Island District, which I'm a part of the Rock Island District. And she is the one that is spearheading the smartphone app. Her name's Shauna Poland, and she's at Coralville Lake in Iowa. I'm sure that they were working on this in 2019, but we didn't find out about it until last year at our regional meeting. And this was in January of 2020, we first heard about it. At that time, COVID was not a problem, but we were looking at it carefully. Then once all these restrictions started up, we had, at this site, we had lock closures in the fall. So I didn't really get a chance to start working on it until working on outlines in October, but I really started putting it together in January. So what you're seeing is probably the compilation of February, March, and April. It actually went really fast. The audience that I was told to look into was approximately age 5 to 12, but I've also been told that we're not going to prevent adults. If they want to go through this and they want to earn their Junior Ranger badge, we're going to give them a Junior Ranger badge at the end and celebrate them being the newest Junior Ranger. So I'm not going to use that as a limiting factor. So the end result that we would like to have is a series of tours. Eventually, we'll probably have 4, maybe 5, each with images, spoken text, written text, and buttons at the bottom that would advance you forward, backward, or wherever you wanted to go. To go through these tours, they're varying lengths, but if you complete a tour, you earn a virtual badge. And when you earn all of the virtual badges, at the moment, there's only 3 tours. So when you earn all 3 virtual badges, then you will earn the opportunity to make an appointment with us to get your actual badge. And that's a plastic badge that we ordered a bunch of. I also have 2 in-depth lessons on topics called Diving Deeper. I wanted this to be something where they didn't have to complete it in order to earn the badges, but these are a lot of the questions that we get are people interested in, well, what is that on a boat, or what is that in the barges? So Diving Deeper right now has anatomy of a towboat and what's in that barge. And they're shorter than the tours, but they go more in depth into what parts make up a towboat and what are the components that can be put into barges. And if you're looking at a barge, what's more likely in that barge? I also have Onsite Activities. And these also are not tour activities, so they don't have badges that go along with it at this time. So that means that you can earn a badge off-site at your house if there's a pandemic going on. And then when the pandemic lifts, you can come into our site and pick up your badge. And at the time that you're here, you can do the scavenger hunts if you wanted to. I'm not making it a requirement as part of the tour that you have to go through these activities to earn your badges. And there's a photo filters. I call it a photo booth, where right now the test page that you're going to sample out is not going to allow you to do the photo filters. You'll be able to see what they are, but you're not going to be able to utilize the camera as part of the photo filter to take a picture of yourself in the picture. And the reason that is this is a test page. And when it goes live, and it's a live page, then the on-cell software website material is going to interact with the components of your smartphone or your tablet to use your camera, to use your GPS, or to use other things that are part of your phone or your tablet in order to get the full usage of the app and all the components within it. So as of right now, I don't know if our photo filters are put together properly. I won't know until it goes live so I can test them. But I'm hoping that everything works splendidly, that we've put it all together, and it will work like a dream. I've also added a bunch of maps. We have a section that has Contact Us and Learn More. And if you've already zapped the QR code with it and you're already heavy into playing with it, you'll notice that there's quite a lot of information in the maps and diagrams that's going to be spoken about inside the app itself. Inside of some of the tours, it'll mention some of the maps. A few of the maps will even be referred to in them, and you'll have a link directly to them. So what supplies did I need? It's not a requirement to buy a microphone, but I wanted something that had a gain knob on it, that I could increase the gain or decrease the gain manually, so that as I'm recording, I'm not having to move the microphone closer to my face or further away in order for the microphone to pick up exactly what I want it to pick up, and not too much or not enough. So this is evidently, this is a standard in podcasting and gaming. People really like this. It's called the Blue Yeti, and there's varying series of these microphones. I just happen to get the one that has a gain button, and it's small and compact. So it is a bit of a brick. I could use it as a doorstop, which means it's very solidly built, but it's a great microphone. And once I started using it, I am so glad that I went with actually going and getting a microphone that had a gain to it. I immediately started playing with the gain and realized that that was going to be something that was pretty necessary as I started recording it. I also bought a pop filter. And a pop filter is that disc thing that's in front of the microphone. And the pop filter filters out some of the explosive components of speech, the P's and the S's, so that the microphone doesn't pick up and make it sound unpleasant. Some people that have been doing these apps have been using the Microsoft voice recorder within Windows. I requested Audacity, which is also free, but I requested that our software people put Audacity on there just so I can get to learn it and work a little bit more with some of this audio equipment. What I was finding was that I didn't want to learn 5 brand new programs just to put this app out, but Audacity seemed to be an easy software to work with, and it allowed me to record in stereo. So that would use the benefits of having a good microphone to the fullest potential. I already had photo imaging software. I have Photoshop, but and I also have Publisher to put words and various things in the image that I was working with. But I do not have Illustrator, and I'm not very proficient in Adobe Illustrator. So some of the things that needed a little bit more pizzazz, shall we say, I delegated it to someone else who was far more capable. And that was the digital graphic guru. So the image on the left is the image I gave to my graphic design person. And I said, I have no idea how to do this, and I need your help. So she cleaned it up. If you notice, the image on the left has scratches all over it. It doesn't have a suit to it. It's off kilter. So she was able to put it back right, cut out what needed to be cut out, clean it up and turn it into a PNG, so that when we made this into a photo filter, then hopefully a person's face will end up in the screen portion of it. Now she, as a sample, put her own picture back there, and I found that the silver thing would have been right over her face. So I had her remove that portion of the mask and the helmet, and we just played with it until it looked fun and engaging for kids and the public. You also need to work with lots and lots of good quality digital images. And so with some of them, I couldn't find the images I was looking at to really tell the story. So I ended up going to other sources and asking permission to utilize their already developed images, or in the case of the Great Loop, there's a wonderful map put out by a publishing company of the route that people use in their recreation boats to take the Great Loop. And I didn't want to reinvent the wheel, so I asked them if they would allow me to utilize it, and they provided me a better quality image than I was able to acquire online. And they said, absolutely, by all means, use it as you wish. I also had to order giveaway badges. And these badges are very similar to our actual park ranger badges, except the ours are not plastic. And ours are smaller than the ones we're going to be giving the public, but they look very similar in the design. So some of the challenges I encountered during the rollout, it happened really quickly, and I wasn't quite ready for it. My guess is the people who were making the decisions had a timeline, but that timeline wasn't necessarily trickled down. I didn't find out when they were hoping to launch it until February, and I still haven't been able to see what the other sites are doing. So if they have something that I really like and I want to learn something about how they did this, I can't do that until it launches. I can request from the overall person that she request the QR codes from everybody, and then we can all share it. But at the moment, I can't see what everyone else is doing. My coworkers here on site have been socially distanced throughout the pandemic. So unfortunately, I've been unable to really take a full team approach to this. My supervisor is still working from home, and I've been able to use the expertise and input of one of my three other coworkers. So I feel like I'm not really able to take advantage of the team knowledge and experience. But I am seeking out information and feedback from everyone that I possibly can that has competency in the areas that I am not very strong in. I am a bit of a Luddite. I'm not really skilled at.
Yes, thank you.
Sorry? I'm sorry, what was that? I'm not really skilled at the technological software for digital imagery. So I needed to acquire someone who I could give them the guts of it and say, okay, this is what I'm looking for. Can you make this happen? And I wish I had all of that ability. Some of you may have that within your organization. I was fortunate that we do have a way in the core to reach out to another entity to take advantage of that. But it was something that is going to be needed if you make this app. You're going to need someone to tweak nearly every image that you have and put words on it, put mascots on it, whatever you want, like this image here. You know, I took a picture. I had to doctor the picture significantly to make it look less scary, and I had to put text to it. So that took a couple of software packages in order to make that happen. Lack of a building. You know, as I'm launching this, we're going to have a flyer that we'll post on our building, but at the moment, I can't invite the public into our building and have places where they can learn more about this app. We also don't have a social media page other than the cores. So once all of this launches, I'll be able to utilize their Facebook page and Twitter, but I don't have one of my own. So some of those are some of the limitations. Surprisingly, this on-sell is cheaper than you may think. When Shauna initially mentioned this to us, she was saying that we need 10 sites to be our guinea pigs. And the Tulsa district has offered to pay for the first 2 years membership and the setup for the first 2 years. But after that, you're responsible for the membership, and it would come to the annual membership to host this would be about $500 a year. So for some of you that put out publications and print them in hard copy form, this could be a much more reasonable option than you may think. There is, I'm sure, a setup cost, but I'm not having to pay that because of this guinea pig agreement. The app building's website itself is relatively easy and seems to, as long as you have kind of an outline mind as to how to organize things, I can easily find what I need to find and put my hands on it quickly and link what I need to link pretty easily. But organization is important as you're setting up your app. If you dump all of your images in one location, you'll never be able to find them. If you put all of your knowledge check questions in one location, you'll never find them. You have to be able to designate, this is for the lock and dam tour, this is for the history tour, this is for the engineering tour, so that you don't accidentally link something up with a place that it doesn't belong, which I've done a few times. I've also had dead links where you click on it and it goes nowhere. Another benefit is that I can reach a different audience. Our site is very small. We have a parking lot, a building, and a small prairie. And because of that, we don't really have the opportunity to take advantage of some of the programming, like the campground programs that many of our larger reservoirs have. We also don't have the staff to support large programming. So this will allow us to reach a different audience, not in place of, but just reach a different audience than we have been able to reach in the past. One other issue that we have is the building that we have was built in the late 70s, and we've had a number of floods in this building that has destroyed the fun technological exhibits that we've had in the past. And as a result, we are stuck with exhibits that are very static, book on wall sort of exhibits. I'd like to change that, but at the moment the funding is not available to do that. So this app is one way that I can show the best of what we have while minimizing some of the weaknesses that I see. Another benefit is we can go more in depth on any of the topics that I want to, depending on the topic. and pull back on areas that I don't think are should be very strong topics for us. They connect changeable images with a changeable message. So if I wanted to say in the app, I could change it and say, you know, due to COVID restrictions, our visitor center is closed. Please contact us to set up an appointment to receive your badge. I can do that. I can change it at the drop of a hat and then publish it, and it will be live at that point. It's always current information. Once you hit that publish button, and it prompts the app users who have downloaded the app to update their content. They can choose not to, but they're not going to get the latest and greatest stuff. So right now, I am missing one activity that will eventually go in there for my phase 1. My phase 2 is going to have 1, maybe 2 more things in it, but they haven't even been outlined out yet. So I'm not completely finished writing it. So once I actually get it developed, put into the app, I can make all the proper links and then publish it at that point. But I can still work on it in draft form and then publish it when I feel it's strong enough to publish to the audience. I can also incorporate videos and multiple site tours. This app is the Illinois Waterway, which encompasses over 300 river miles. So technically, any of the core sites that are up and down the river, I can do site tours of them. I don't know exactly how we're going to use other sites. We may or may not. But at the moment, we're just focusing on the visitor center as the primary site and Starved Rock Lock and Dam as the topic of the interpretation. So with that, these are some of the screenshots, and you've seen some of the other screenshots that I've had. This is what's called a preview screen. So in addition to the publish, which puts it all out there for everyone to see, the preview is a way that you can test all of the buttons and test all of the linkages on this software without having to publish it. So it shows you what it would look like on a phone, and you can gauge then, wow, okay, maybe I need to make that a smaller image, or maybe I need to make that zoomable or scrollable, or maybe I need to shrink this image so that the button will fit on the screen. So the preview is kind of handy for some of these options. You can access it by doing the QR code or by the website that I've got on the bottom. If you want to see it on your computer, use the website. If you want to use it on your smartphone, use the QR code. All right, so let's see here. Go back to this. All right, so what sort of questions do you guys have?
All right, you can type your questions in the chat or unmute yourself and answer them, or ask them rather. I hope everybody's had some time to play with the app. Julie graciously gave us the preview last week, and so I got my Junior Ranger badge in history here. I felt
well, you got one badge there, yeah.
The history one. It was all questions about the I&M Canal, so I felt really under pressure there.
Well, hopefully the information was correct. If it wasn't, I would hope that you guys would come back to me and say, we might want to look at the wording on this one a little bit more. But I'm seeking input from all of you. I want you to give me input and say either this is going to work and it's going to work well, or, you know, I think you might want to consider this screen, this page, rewording this. So I think it would be great to get everyone's opinion, whoever gets a chance to play with it. Did I say that it would be ready for the general public? It was supposed to be ready for the general public May 1st. That was the date I was given in February. So once I was given that date in February, I was rushing to get everything ready to launch on May 1st. And even if not everything was done, I wanted to be able to have all the buttons linking to the correct locations. And then you'll still, if you're playing with it, you'll find that in the activities, there's an on-site scavenger hunt, and that still has an under construction page. And the reason that is I'm still working on the text on that. I'm still getting back feedback from my proofreaders to make sure that the commas are in the right locations and that I'm describing the correct information so that it's accurate. And when I have a chance to post that, you know, I'll put it, by that point, I would hope that it would be live at that point, and then I can just push a publish. It should be done by the end of the month, though.
Great. All right. Any other questions or comments?
Oh, if you wanted to see the badge.
Oh, yeah, please. Ah.
Or no.
So at some point,
It's nice.
pick up the physical one of those?
Yes. When you have achieved all 3 of your virtual badges, you can come and pick up your actual badge. But you got to make a reservation right now. Our visitor center is not open yet.
Can't wait till it is. That'll be nice. I'm so excited to test those photo filters.
You know, I am chomping at the bit for that. I am really, because this was the blind leading the blind. My graphic guru, she's like, I've never made a photo filter before. So between the 2 of us, we're really crossing our fingers and hoping that these photo filters work.
Sounds good. Any other questions there? I know it's a lot of information to throw at you and getting the app up there. But some people need some time to play with it first.
Well, and my email, I'm sure that Erin's going to send out a contact list after the fact. And please, if you do play with it for a while and find something that you have questions about, by all means, shoot me an email or give me a call on the phone. I'm happy to link you up with some ideas or some answers as to what worked for us. I did have a problem where I wanted the tours to go in a certain order, but the badges on the badge screen were coming up in a different order completely. And I didn't want that to happen. So there was a trick that I had to come up with in order to reorder them and make sure that they stayed in that order, in the order that I wanted them to.